Good morning. This is Victoria here from Painting May Fun. Today is Friday. I believe it's April 29th. I am so excited to be here because today I am going to be painting a portrait. Something that is going to look in between these two. It's one of my original paintings, but every time I paint it, I change something just because I think it's a fun thing to do. I know how intimidating it is to paint portraits, and most of us are afraid to even try it. I was afraid to try portraits for a very long time, but one day I said, I'm just gonna try. And trust me, the first one wasn't really a good one, but that didn't stop me. That didn't stop me because we only get good at something when we do it repeatedly. So I continue, I embraced it with love and kindness. I keep telling myself that you're gonna get it. You are gonna get it to the point that you're gonna be happy, satisfied with it, and you're gonna love it. And so I did. But today I'm not gonna be painting a realistic portrait. I'm just gonna do a fun, easy way. We're just gonna keep like 2 or 3 skin tones, very simple, 2 colors for the skin tone. And we're gonna add some greenery just to kind of add more life to the painting. But I'm gonna walk you through it. Hope you hang out for maybe it's gonna take us 2 hours. Who knows? It can be less than that. But if you're just tuning in, good morning. Hey, Dana, good to see you here. We're gonna be working on one of my original portraits. It's kind of sort of like a whimsical, unrealistic portrait. And I'm about to show you how to embrace it with love and kindness, get the best of it, enjoy painting it, and then perhaps you embrace that journey of the portrait paintings and become really good at it. If that's what one thing that you want to do, but at the moment you feel a little bit intimidated, as we do from time to time. And let's get on it. So I'm gonna just get up and flip the camera. So bear with me just a moment. Just a moment. And I'm gonna walk you through this. I'm gonna bring this forward just a bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I need to put some weight behind this so it doesn't tip over. All right, so I believe we're quite set right here. And I am gonna start. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. We're gonna keep it simple. And when I say simple, I really mean we're gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna use bleached titanium, unbleached titanium. And I am gonna be using for my skin tone, like I said, we're only gonna use 2 tones for the skin, and I'm gonna be using my burnt sienna as well. A little bit of, well, I'm gonna put the white, but I'm gonna use the unbleached titanium, but I'm gonna put some white just in case that I decide to use it. And we're gonna start with the skin, with her face. And for that, I'm gonna be using a filbert brush. They're kind of beat up because usually I use clear gesso when I'm painting portraits, but I'm not gonna use it today because I wanna show you, even though I'm painting on paper, I usually do all of my paintings on paper, otherwise I will have a gazillion amount of canvases. When I paint on paper, I use gesso, but I want to show you that you can still do it without the gesso, but you can use a medium as well. So I'm gonna get my, oh, I need another color for the skin tone besides the unbleached titanium. Just give me a minute. It's right here, and I'm gonna be using yellow oxide for my skin. So I have my 3 colors here. So I'm gonna bring that yellow oxide with unbleached titanium. And you can use a palette knife to mix, but because my painting is so small and the amount of paint I pull is very little, I'm just gonna go ahead and mix it with my brush. And I learned that you have to move quite quickly when you're painting on paper because it absorbs the paint so fast. And I find that it is still too dark because once the acrylics dry, they darken just a bit. And I'm not paying really attention to my brush strokes at this point. Before that dries, I'm gonna grab a little bit of that burnt sienna and I'm just gonna do the shading here because I can still blend it with my lighter skin tone. And we can go even a little bit darker just to make it a little bit more dramatic here. And again, we're just gonna blend it with the lighter skin tone. And yes, I am moving quite fast before the paint dries. And even if we have already dried, like probably it's the case up here, and we're painting kind of loosely, we're not really going to create a straight line, or why not? I'm gonna soften that out just a notch, but I wanna make sure this part here, it's quite dark. We have all of this hair. And I'm not cleaning my brush in the water. I'm just keeping it clean on the paper towel. And yes, I go over that burnt sienna just to soften it a little bit. And then I bring my unbleached titanium white. She's gonna have a little bit of a tan look. She's been out and about and she got a tan. And I'm mixing it right here on my paper. We're not worried about any sort of details. No, quite yet, because this is not really this is just a fun, easy painting of a portrait, not really a realistic one. And I find that if we are having issues with approaching portraits, then it's better if we kind of go easy and make it more fun than anything else. Okay, so you can say this is our first layer that we are adding in our face. And I'm gonna cover her eyelashes. Now, I don't do makeup myself, so I don't really ever put makeup in my paintings because just for the simple reason that I don't even know how to apply makeup. Like it's a whole science behind it. I'm not looking at the comments. The camera is above me, but I from time to time I'm gonna try to go ahead and look up, but I'm sitting down and I can read your comments at the moment. Sorry, apologize for that. And I'm moving quickly anyway. Then the other side of my brush had the flesh skin tone. I'm gonna kind of just, not necessarily clean, but wet and define those hairs in my brush. It is the weekend. I get excited when the weekend comes, but I am excited every day, and I tell you why, because I work from home and I pretty much paint all day. So I have a lot of fun. And I'm going to be covering this part too, but I just want to add that color there. So now the nose, I'm really going to make it a little bit lighter because I assume that light is hidden on the nose. Okay. And we're gonna have a little bit of a highlight here on her face. You can add makeup, like I said before, if you are good with makeup. If you applied makeup, you probably, I'm pretty sure you can do this part really good. And I'm gonna leave that spot to be a little bit brighter too. So I'm not adding white, just the unbleached titanium, because the sun perhaps is hitting this part of her face. The light is kind of hidden somewhere here as well as somewhere here, and this side of her face. So I just add a little bit more of that unbleached titanium to where the light source, where the light is hidden. So, and again, this is not a realistic painting, so I can play just like this, and we're keeping it simple with just those skin tones. Let me go to her neck before I forget. I always forget this bar, but I'm gonna try to not to forget about it today. A lot of shading here. And then I'm gonna bring that lighter skin tone up, just because of the location, and the hair is all giving all of the shade. And I'm just gonna comb a little bit to the side right here, and I'm gonna kind of blend it and soften that out with my lighter skin tone. And I don't understand why I'm being so quiet today. It's like I'm not even loud. I'm surprised. It's usually louder than this. It's like I'm whispering, and I don't know why. Okay. And I usually use my gesso because it allows me to blend easier, but you don't have the gesso. You can just manage without it, as I am right now. So we have the part. Hello, Shirley. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great day. So I am, from time to time I have to stand up also because the light here doesn't really let me see well. So I'm just getting up um, to take a look at what I'm painting. Like when I'm painting on my standing easel, I from time to time I step away from my painting, and I'm gonna add a little bit of a shading right here, as well as right here. We can always go back and fix that just a bit. We're keeping it simple. We are keeping it very, very simple. And I'm gonna come with my skin, my lighter skin tone, and soften that out just a bit. before before it dries completely. And perhaps we have a little bit more of a shading on this side. I just want to remove most of that paint. Then I'm gonna come back with my skin tone and again soften that out just a bit. Take a deep breath. We're doing good. You're doing good. I'm gonna come here with just the unbleached white. Oops, I wasn't supposed to get that brown there. And always underneath the lip is just a little bit darker. I don't want that brown there. I actually gonna clean my brush and add a very light mix of my bleach titanium with a little bit of the what is the color that I'm using? The oxide yellow. And I'm gonna keep this part here. Me personally, I always do this as I always do it in the nose. And I'm gonna stand up just to take a look because, like I mentioned before, because of the light source, the lamp, it's too bright, and I cannot really appreciate what I'm doing right there. So I'm gonna come with just the white, and I'm gonna add this right here, this highlight. Then I'm gonna come to the nose and add a little bit of the highlight here too. And I'm gonna bring it up just a notch up here. I'm known to utilize my fingers a lot. Paper sometimes is quite hard to do that. And I don't want this to be too light, but it might look, see if I had my gesso, I can easily move. And the reason why she has a mole right there is because I have a mole, so I give her a mole. Okay, and I'm gonna come back here, add a little bit of that highlight here on this side of her face as well. Okay. And she is very tan. She got a sunburn. She did. So I can always highlight or lighten her skin tone. And I believe that's what I'm gonna do. Gonna light it up just a notch. Promise you it's not gonna be a huge difference, but we're gonna light it up. And I'm gonna try this one more time, and I believe I am more pleased with this color. So I am pretty much gonna repeat my steps. So because I am repeating, I'm gonna have to add the brown so we can blend those colors nicely. But I'm trying to cover as much as I can with this sort of a lighter. I don't want her to look like she just burned out on the sun. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. I think it all depends on how we embrace things in life that makes a difference, and that applies to painting too. You have to embrace it with love and kindness. Know that it is a process like everything else in life, and that it takes time to develop a skill. Okay. And all we have to do is practice. So the more we do it, the easier it gets. All right. Okay, I believe she is looking a little bit better. And I am just bringing some white to that lighter shade that we got going here. And I'm just giving it that highlight there. And this is just me. I like to do this little dot here on the chin. You don't really necessarily have to do it. Then I'm gonna highlight a little bit right here, because we have that's where the light is hitting the most, and as well here and here. Okay, and I'm gonna leave her just like that. She doesn't have any makeup on, she's all natural. And I'm gonna add a little bit of shade right under her lip. And the shading can come here as well to the side, but then I am immediately coming with a little bit of that skin tone and soften that out. And then I come with the skin tone and soften that as well. All right. Now that and I need this part of the shoulder. This is kind of like she is facing, her body is facing right up this way. Oh, I got paint here. And but her face is tilted to this side. So gonna add a little bit of shading here. Then we're gonna come back with the skin tone, the lighter skin tone. Soften that out just a bit. And back to the burnt sienna. Yes, I like that. I like that when I can utilize my fingers to help it blend. Then we got our lady here, and we're not gonna go any further down with the skin. We got the idea that her body continues to go, but we're just gonna leave it right here. All right. Because this is going to be covered with the greenery anyway. So I believe I am pleased with that. I'm going to stand up and take a look, and I'm going to get a sip of my green juice. Delicious. And I kind of want to darken and get closer here to the hairline. Again, I don't do makeup, so I don't really know how to paint her eyes as if she was to wear makeup. But if you know how to apply makeup, which you probably do if you put makeup on, you'll be able to do that better and even paint um, her eyelid. Okay. No, because she's not realistic. She's sort of in the whimsical side, and we have some outlines. We are just going to give it the same outlines. Why not? Getting my black. And I'm going to tilt this paper so it is easier for me. And I'm going to just kind of keep the same line that I created first. And I'm using my detail brush. It's good to have a good detail brush. And you can create the eyebrow any way you want. That's my way of the way I did it for this particular piece. And you know, why not? I'm just gonna outline this part of her nose and that side because we have that line there. Now under her eye she has a line that I am just gonna use the burnt sienna to do that line as well as the one that she has on her eyelid. I didn't mean to press down too hard. But now that it's there, it is fine with me. Then I'm going to come and outline the eye. Then I'm going to tilt this to make it easier for me. You can outline with a gel pen. You can outline with a marker. Or you can do it with the brush as I'm doing it. And we don't have to align it entirely. We can leave it just like that. Okay. So now I'm going to proceed with her lips. Make sure when you're using your detail brush, you kind of wash it right away. Don't let it sit on your cup because it's just gonna bend the tip of your brush, and you just kind of clean it nicely and gently. A paper towel and put it on the side. And I am gonna paint her lips. And for that, I was looking for a very nice filbert brush, but I believe I'm gonna use the same. I was looking for a smaller filbert brush, and I found it. But when you use gesso, it beats up the brushes, so the hairs are everywhere. So for that, I'm not gonna be using that brush. I'm gonna be using the same one, the same filbert brush that I used for her face, and I'm gonna grab some red. And I'm gonna mix that red with a little bit of the brown that I'm using. The Oh my God, this is that I can think today is the burnt sienna with a little bit of the burnt sienna, just to darken that red just a bit. Again, I'm gonna move the paper in such a way that it's easier for me. So I'm gonna do the darker side of the lips with that color. Then we proceed to do some highlights. Okay, I'm gonna clean that. Then I'm gonna grab my red, give her red lips. And yes, I can go over the darker shade with my red. I'm gonna leave them alone and then I come back and add some highlights. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab my detail brush. Another thing when you're painting with paper, you just kind of, or when you're painting on a canvas too, and I'm gonna keep the same lines that I already have. What I was gonna say, you can move, you just have to sit there and wait for that part to dry so you can finish up that part. You keep moving on with your painting. You just grab another area and then you do. So I want to outline the lips. Not at this moment, but I for the chances that I would probably end up doing that. Well, I guess I just did. Mainly that side. All right. I can leave her eye black as it is, or I can add some color to the eye. So I'm just gonna make sure I cover this first with the black, even though it had black in it, but I want to cover that. She can have green eyes, blue eyes, hazel eyes. She's wearing contact lens. I believe in, if this was her, she had hazel eyes. But I am gonna I'm gonna paint it blue because she's probably wearing contact lenses. Who knows? Beauty of painting is that you can pretty much paint the world or anything the way that you would like to see it. So I'm just gonna come strong with that blue here to fill this part. I'm gonna just add a little bit of white. That's a lot on my brush. And light it up just a notch. Remember, this is not by any means a realistic eye. That's fair enough. I just want you to embrace it, don't be afraid. Just do it, okay? And I'm gonna go back to her lips, and I'm gonna add a little bit of highlight on her lips. And I'm gonna try this color to see if I like it or not. It's like a pale rose sort of a color. I'm gonna mix it a little bit with that red. And I'm just gonna add the highlight right here. So give her a little bit of a volume as well to the lips. Okay. I am pretty happy with that. I'm not gonna make it too strong of a highlight. I am pleased with that. You can highlight it more if you wish. I think I'm good with what I have right there. So For the hair on my original painting, I just left it with those black lines. I'm gonna get a sip of my green juice. Look at that. Green juice, fresh green juice. If you wonder what I have in my juice, I have celery, cucumbers, spinach, a cactus that I always forget the name of the cactus, nopales, and a little bit of oatmeal, and a little bit of lime. And that's my green juice. It's very refreshing. Feel energetic when I drink it. Feel like it cleans my body. And I'm gonna give it that mole that I do have right here. So she's gonna have it. I have a big mole in my face, and she has it as well. I am not really good with eyelashes, but that's not gonna stop me from giving her eyelashes. I can just lift the ones that you can kind of see right there. And for the eyelashes, when it's the right eye, I find it that if I tilt it towards my right side, I can do better. Making sure I have paint in my brush, but it's not overload with paint. So I'm gonna try my best to give her nice eyelashes, not too long. Gonna reload my brush again and again. If I have put too much paint, just kind of get rid of some of that paint and continue with those tiny what's wrong with my brush? Just put the tip of your brush in the paint. And my brush has a lot of water because I didn't get rid of all of that water. And that's it for, I don't have long eyelashes anyway. So, but I feel like elongating this one's. Maybe I should leave it alone. I'm just gonna leave it alone. That's it. For the hair. For the hair, you can play with gel pens, you can play with the Posca pens, you can play with markers, you can use the brush, you can leave it as is, you can add highlights. The one that I did previously, it has this one, I did it with the paint brush. This one is with a marker. So I am not quite sure about what I'm gonna do with her hair yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the background. The background does not necessarily have to be painted. We can just add the greenery, or at this point you can decide you want to stop right here, and if you do want to stop right there, that's totally fine with you. You can call it done. A lot of people ask me like, how do you know when you're done with a piece? Well, you're done when you think you're done. When you look at it and if you're satisfied with it and you know you're done, you're done. Um, it's not really, you decide when to stop. You know when it's done, you know when it's, you can add a little bit of something else. You know, we know. We know. I'm gonna get rid of all of that pink from my brush, and I'm gonna add, I'm gonna highlight. And yes, I am gonna grab just the white, and I'm just gonna give her that highlight here in the chin. And I'm also gonna give a highlight here on the nose. And yes, it is dramatic to make it just with the white paint, but I want to do it with the white paint. You don't have to do it. You can continue doing it with the bleach and the skin tone that we created. And you're just basically getting rid of the exit paint. I don't want to get near that mold because that mold is still fresh. All right. Then if you think, oh my God, but the nose it's too white, then just get a little bit of that unbleached titanium and add again uh, a little bit of that white titanium, unbleached titanium to that white and kind of soften that out just a bit if you want. If not, just leave it as is. That's it. Whatever makes you happy. And once the mold is completely dry, I'll go over on that side. All right. I hope you're doing good. Take a deep breath. You're doing this with me. Hopefully, you go ahead and do it. If you want the tracer, just request a tracer. I can email it to you, or I can send it via messenger. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of the burnt sienna here and here. It can be as dramatic as you want your shading. I believe I just grabbed the brush that I was saying it has a lot of, it's messed up because of the gesso. Okay, we're making progress. Now I am gonna start adding my background. I'm not sure about the background. The background that I used in my previous picture was green. The one that I add on this one, it's also green, but because we have the greenery, I think today I want to try a brighter blue, bright blue. And let's try that. Why not? Why not? I'm looking for a flat square brush. And I'm just gonna start, oops. I'm just gonna start, let's say, somewhere here. Now, you don't have to get it completely close to the edge of the hair. You can just leave certain parts that touch the hair and then other parts that don't touch. It is pretty much up to you. I'm really liking this blue. And the brush strokes on my background really, if we're making this like fun and we're keeping it simple and easy, brush strokes shouldn't really matter, but you can do anything you want. I'm not going for that perfect look, and I kind of like to leave a sort of like a frame. I'm not worrying about that brown spot because I'm gonna add greenery in there, so I don't have to really worry about that. And let's say my frame here will be right there. So once it dries, if I want to go for a second coat, I will do that. Okay, so I'm just going to move the paper to make it easy for me. And I perhaps can come here with a tiny brush just to get up there. And as well as getting in here. I'm loving this blue. I'm a blue person. I love the blue tones. But I like green too. I like a lot of colors. Let's be realistic here. I paint. I like whole. And here really doesn't have to, you don't have to worry about getting all over that skin. It's gonna be again covered with the greenery. Oh, I managed to get up there with this brush. So I can probably manage to get up here with this one. If it's dry, which is probably it's because it is paper, I can just go over and add sort of a second coat when it's dry. And I'm gonna bring that sort of like up to there. And brush strokes don't really matter much because that's gonna be covered with leaves and flowers, you know, any sort of greenery that do you want. You can use for the greenery, you can use stamps, you can use, wanna make it 3D, you can just glue stuff on it, like a mixed media. You can use stencils, or you can just paint everything yourself. My husband is vacuuming, so that's why you hear the vacuum. I apologize for the background noise. And without even using a tape, I just created a frame. But if you want to use a tape, you by no means just use the tape. I like it more this way because it is, again, an easy and realistic, fun portrait. Okay. If you want to go for a second coat, you can actually do that. If you want to cover, I don't think I have any greenery up there. So you may want to go 2 coats here. Up to you again. Everything is pretty much up to you. If you decide to go ahead and do this portrait, I would love to see it, so I appreciate if you just drop a picture of your piece when you're done. Let me just mention something really quick because it came to me. I provide virtual painting classes in a private group here on Facebook. It's called the Soul Restoring Art Club. And we paint twice a month, full tutorials like this one. Well, you guys missed first few steps because I will tell you how to prepare the paper once you print out the trace, because I didn't just trace this with carbon paper. But those are the things that we talk in the group. And we paint every subject. You are there, you will be there in a group of very nice people that just one day decided to embrace painting, and they're pretty much beginners. They've been painting for about a year and 5 months or so. So we have a lot of painting sessions there. We paint twice a month, and full tutorials can be up to 2 hours depending on what we're painting. And from time to time, I just come off just to give you some tips. But we have, besides that, we have the full tutorials every 2 weeks at night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can always watch the replays if you cannot make it to the live. Most likely people cannot make it to the live, but they will watch the replays and then post the pictures of their paintings. So if you're interested in embracing acrylic painting and you would like me to be part of the journey, I'll be more than happy to be that person who can show you a few things or a lot of things. And at the same time, I learn a lot from you guys. I'm constantly learning. We're constantly learning. Okay. I am self-taught. I've been painting for 16 years. I love to paint, and my medium of choice is acrylics. And I do mixed media as well, and I like to use some oil pastels and my stencils and markers and gel pens and glue things, and it's fun. It's all fun. All right, so we have that. I'm gonna let it dry just a bit so that we can add the greenery. And again, if I wanna call this done, I can call it done right now, and I'll be pretty satisfied with it. It will be, I would just probably add the hair and just the flower. If I decide to not to add the greenery. So I'm just letting it dry. I'm gonna give it a minute or so before we start with the greenery. If you have stencils with some leaves or some flowers, I grabbed some stencils just to show you because the stencil can give us sort of the outline. I don't clean my stencils as I should, as you can see. Well, I cleaned the other parts, but the flower I forgot to clean the last time I used it. I'm not gonna use this one in her face because it's too big, but this one can go somewhere here if we want. But I'm gonna use the leaves, and we can build upon those. I really like it the way it's looking right now. I do. I should take a picture of this because I like it. I like it. So I'm gonna Oh, I'm afraid if I take a picture, um, my sound is gonna get messed up or something. I'm not gonna take a picture, but I really, really like it the way it looks right now. Oh my God, I want to take a picture. If you take a picture of this right now, please send the picture to me. I appreciate that so very much. Letting it dry. So the stencils, for the stencil, you can use a makeup sponge. Try to not to buy a very cheap one. Grab the ones that are like $3.99 the bag, and it comes with like 20 of them instead of the ones from the dollar store because they are not as soft, but they are soft. But then you can kind of maneuver them better, and I find them easier to dab, and it just give you better results. So, and you can use it quite a few times before you throw that out. So I recommend those. Now you can use the stamps as well to add some of those nice leaves in the background, or why not? Because she's just in the jungle. She's out there in the forest, or she's out there where there's a lot of greenery around her, just kind of peeking out. But again, you can just live it just like that. Hello, Teresa. How are you doing? How's your day going? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. All right, if you can take a picture of this and send it to me, I appreciate that. I'm afraid to take a picture with my phone and then the sound is just gonna be all messed up. It happens to me once and I don't want to do it again. So the hair. So I was saying you can leave it like this and call it done. I can just honestly go ahead right now and say I am finished. This is finished. It is done. And that will be fine. So you decide when to stop really. You know, if you're happy with that and you like it, just call it done. Now, for the hair, I am not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but I need to make the decision now before I add the greenery. Or maybe I just want to add a flower, but even if it is just a flower, I have to do something with her hair. Now, again, her hair can stay, I'm going to leave it just like that. But you could do what I did with this one with a marker. I did it with the brush, but you can come with markers, you can come with gel pens, and just do some lines, whichever color you want to do on her hair. That will be fine. But I believe at this point I want to add a flower here, and then I'm going to decide if I want the greenery or not. All right. Now I got some brown here by mistake, but I can just go over with some white and cover that brown right there. This is an easy breezy painting of a portrait just for those who are pretty much afraid or intimidated to approach portrait painting. But I just kept it simple with the two skin tones only. And it's not realistic. It's easier when it's a non-realistic painting because it allows to play with it more and don't worry about all of the real details, and it has to be exact and it has to be perfect. So I think it's a good way to approach portrait paintings. All right, so I believe it's quite dry. So I'm just gonna make sure, and I'm gonna use my blow dryer. All right, and that is probably done. I think it is. All right, so we're gonna do now, if I want to do instead of a flower, let's say I want to do a butterfly, or I want to do a, if I want to do a dragonfly, I can use also my stamps, right? So let's say I wanna put this flower in her hair, and it could be I will not do the leaf, just the flower. I can do that one. If I want to do a butterfly or a dragonfly, you can place it anywhere you want. That's too big for her head. It had to be a smaller, but you can use the stamps. That's what I was trying to say. But I am going to just paint a flower, but I'm gonna kind of draw it first with a pencil. I like to use just a regular pencil, but sometimes I like to use my Stabilo pencil, but I'm not gonna use that today. But we use those when we're doing mixed media. Stabilo pencils is one thing, you either love it or hate it. It's a love and hate relationship. I really like it. I like the effect. And I teach about all of that in my soul restoring. The soul restoring art club is for adults, and I'll give you more details, and we do full tutorials there, even though this one is kind of a full tutorial, except that you don't know what I did to prepare the paper before painting this. So I am just going to tilt the paper the way I find it is easier for me. Perhaps I should stand. I'm going to stand up again. Sorry. And I'm just gonna start here. 3, 4, 5. Perhaps this one I can come out of that line. All right, and then this one can be a little bit longer. And you probably don't see the lines as much as I do, but it is because I don't want to go too strong with the pencil, and then I don't want to see the lines. Okay. Maybe this one could have come a little bit this way. I don't know. I'm going to go just with that. All right. So yes, I can come and outline it with anything. So I'm going to outline it black because we have black outlines in her face, and because again she's not realistic, so I can just come with my gel pen. Is this a gel pen, or this is not the gel pen? This is just a this is just a real pen, but I'm gonna get my gel pen, or you can use a marker, a black marker if you have one. I'm looking for my black gel pen. Bear with me for a minute. Doesn't necessarily have to be black, but I want the black. Not this one. I don't like that one. This one has a little bit of a glitter in it. Perhaps I can use this one. Yeah, why not? Why not? This is we can play with all of these things anyway. So I'm gonna kind of keep the pencil line. And I went out just a bit with that one. And yeah, and I'm gonna bring this one out to her face. So I change it up just a bit, but enough for me to see. And now it's time for me to paint that beautiful flower. Now she has red lips. I can give her a red flower, or I can give her a pink flower, or I can give her a nice orangey flower that is gonna go well with the background. So let's try to do a orange flower. And those are the decisions that we make when we're painting. Sometimes we don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but it'll come to us. It will come as you're painting, as we are painting. So I'm gonna use, I have two different oranges, and I'm gonna start with the darkest one. And if in the club you get a list of the materials, but you also get to choose what colors you want for your paintings. I always encourage everyone to select your colors, the colors that are gonna go well with your furniture, with your decoration, with your walls at home, or the colors that you perhaps really, really like. So You don't have to do it the exact same way. I'm just looking for my brush. I'm looking for my, that was another one. Yes, this is the one. My filbert brush. I could perhaps use a bigger filbert brush. Let me see. Yeah, that size is good. And so I give you the materials, and sometimes I give you tracers. And most of the times we just freehand. Okay, the first videos that you're gonna see, because I have beginners, when I first opened the club a year and a half ago, they were not really feeling comfortable with drawing, so we did a lot of traceables. But now we're at the point that there are certain things that we can just go ahead and freehand. Now, if I want this orange to, yeah, the orange is gonna be transparent, unless we just want to see the lines behind. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna go with white, and I'm gonna cover all of that with just the white. And yes, I had some orange in it, but it really doesn't matter. So we're gonna cover that with white, and perhaps we might have to go with two coats of the white. So I'm going at light coat so it dries fast, and I don't mind just going over again with another coat of the white. Remember to always tilt the paper so it is easier for you or the canvas or the surface that you are utilizing at the moment that you are painting, the moment you are creating your masterpiece. Okay, if at any given time you find inspiration on this video, or you just simply feel like blessing me, you can support me by sending stars. Let me tell you how the star sounds. You say, oh, 240 stars, that's a lot of money. It is not. Every star that you send, they give me a penny. Okay, I get a penny. So 300 stars is $3. And that helps me tremendously, believe it or not. You will say, oh my God, $3, that's it? That helps me. That helps me. I will get all of the stars once I pass $100. That will be 10,000 stars. I believe I only have like, I don't know, 15 stars. So I don't know when I'm gonna meet that goal, but hey, it will be nice when I get it. Trust me, I will enjoy it. I will go for a nice uh, lunch. I don't know. Something like that. Looking forward to that day. Perhaps I will go live and thank everybody for my stars. But anyway, just if you feel uh, really from your heart to do that. So I'm gonna grab my blow dryer again. And I'm gonna apply the second coat of the white. And it doesn't matter if I get rid of that black line. That was just for me to kind of have a reference of the outline, because I can come back and outline it again. Now, if at any given time you also want to set up a one-on-one virtual painting session with me, I offer that service as well. So we can do that via FaceTime, or we can do that via, if you do have like WhatsApp, we can do it via WhatsApp as well, or the Messenger. We can do a video, a live private painting session. for up to 2 hours. Okay. If you want to have just like a private class with a family and or friends, it's not a class, that will be like a paint party. We can do it also. We create a private Facebook group and we can do it that way, or we can do it via Zoom. Okay. All right, so we have most of those lines covered, so I'm gonna blow dry again. Just making sure it's completely dry. And I'm gonna grab my brush, get rid of all of that white. I'm gonna get a sip of my juice. I love this green juice. Again, it's celery, cucumbers, spinach, nopales, which is a cactus, lime, and oats. And I just put it all in the blender. All right, let's go with the orange. So and I'm gonna use, first I'm gonna use this vibrant yellow. Well, I'm gonna get rid of all of the orange, and then bring in some yellow from the top into the orange. Those two colors contrast really well with the blue in the sky. Okay, and if I want, since the orange is pretty much dry, I can add another coat of the orange. All right, one down. Next, clean your brush, not in the water, but on the paper towel, and bring the nice yellow in. Again, you can paint the flower any color you want. You can glue a flower, you can stamp a flower. You decide which way you want to go with it. I'm gonna let it dry. This is looking very pretty. At least I think. At least I think. Let me know what you think. So I like the colors and the easiness that comes with this painting. I absolutely love that. It is my desire to. That's what my business name is. Painting Made Fun. It has to be fun. It is fun to paint, and I want to invite you to just approach it with a kind heart. And have some grace on yourself, and I know you can do this. I know you can do this. in the brush on the paper towel, not necessarily in the water. And then just add your yellow, and this yellow can come into the orange as well. And since I have that yellow on my brush, I'm just gonna start with the yellow on this one. And grab my orange. It's always good to have a blow dryer in your painting area because chances are you're gonna need it. Especially if you want to keep moving, or if you are impatient like sometimes I am. Sometimes I don't want to wait for it to dry. Sometimes I'm okay with it. So it's good to have it. Painting helps us build patience. It would allow it to. And I'm just making sure I strengthen that orange. And I can actually make it even a little bit darker if I add a little bit of red, or if I come with a little bit of magenta, which is a color that I have not utilized in the painting yet. So I'm just gonna stick to the red. The magenta will probably look very nice. Why not? I'm gonna grab some magenta. If I find my magenta. Can just bring that here. Just making sure that's right there. Okay. Clean my brush. Gonna let that dry just a bit. And I'm kind of pleased with this, the way it is. I'm very pleased with it. I don't think I will add any greenery today. I just want to add some lines. Oh, we need the most important part of the flower. And I don't know, I don't want to bring it into her face, but it can come here, it can come to the side, it can quite be in the middle of these two, because if I bring it this way, it's just going to be in her face. So there's a decision that I have to make. And what I'm going to do when things like that happen, this is what I do. I just grab a piece of paper, and I'm going to use this one that I was teaching in the Soul Restoring Art group, how to create colors with just the primary colors. So, so this is her hair, let's say, right? Blah, blah, blah. Her eyes is somewhere here. Just let's say that's what it is. And I have that one petal here, and I'm just trying to, that one, it's not completely on her face like that. And then this one here. So that's what I have so far. So if I can come here. I can come here, blah, 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 blah. Or if I don't want it there, I'm just trying to figure out where I want it. Then I can come here. but then it's gonna be pretty much it's gonna be in her face. And I'm not quite sure what exactly I wanted. Definitely, I don't want it going into her eye because she is looking at something and there's nothing on her way, nothing on her eye. Um, this is a tough one. This is a tough decision that I need to make. I think I'm gonna go back to the first choice. I think I'm gonna this is actually going to the petal and right here. Or I can also bring it to the side. But I want to bring it to the side. Oh, decisions, decisions, decisions. I wish somebody was here to help me to make this decision. Um, hmm, no, I think I'm gonna go up. All right, and so I'm gonna go up, and I am gonna use my detail brush, and I am just gonna use that magenta. Or I can come with a darker. I'm gonna mix that magenta with a little bit of red. That's what I'm gonna do. Gonna mix magenta with a little bit of red because I just want to make it a little bit darker. And perhaps I can use just a dot of blue paint just to darken it up a little bit more, but not so much, just a bit. I am pleased with that. All right, so I decided that, oops, my iPod, my AirPods came off. And I decided that it's gonna come here. We're gonna lift it up. And the same color I am actually going to add right here. This is by no means a realistic flower. We all know that by now. But I want to reinforce that darkness right there. And he adds this. Okay. Then I'm going to come with a little bit of white right before it dries. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a highlight. And I had a lot of water, so I'm just going to dry this from a distance. With the clear temperature. And I'm just gonna grab some magenta, not the one that I mixed with the blue and the red, just magenta. and just the magenta by itself. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of white, and some of them are just gonna be white, and I'm gonna just mix of white right there. And I am very pleased with that flower. Now I can go back with my, I'm gonna try it. Making sure it is dry. Then I can come back with my gel pen and I can give it the outline and I can keep the lines the way they are, or I'm gonna do this, you don't have to do it, but I just want to show you how fun that can be. I don't mind if I mess it up or not. I'm gonna try to go over the lines, but I'm not quite interested in making it the exact same way. I want to come in, I want to go out, I want to change it up just a notch. They don't have to follow the same lines. That's what I was trying to say. You can go out of the lines or inside the lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And you can go over another round if you want. If you want to add some white highlights, because why not? You can absolutely do that just with the white paint. I still have some white paint here. I do. Just for the heck of it. Or you can add little dots to the flower here and there. Just have some fun with some dots. Or you can just outline part of that, right? Have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. Clean that detail brush and put it right away on the side. So I am gonna call this one done. I don't want to add any greenery like I did with the other ones. And every time I do this painting, it comes out different, but I like it. I like it, you know, it doesn't have to be the same. This is one of my original paintings. If you paint this, just keep in mind it's just for you to keep it, not for you to reproduce it or sell it. It's for you to learn, to practice, and to have fun with it, which is the most important thing. As long as you're having fun, I'm happy. All right, but this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for sprinkling the love. Thank you for putting these videos on your page and letting your friends and family know that they can just embrace paint and they can just have fun with it. And they probably find a safe spot and they find a new hobby, a very calming, positive thing to do, and they may want to join my club, they may want to follow my page and then go into these adventures with me, which I love to do. So thank you again for everything. Thank you for the stars that you're sending. I pray that God bless you and multiply your finances in the mighty name of Jesus. And until next time, you be safe. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.